So I'm Angela Zautcke. I'm Assistant Professor of the New Testament. So I teach the scripture classes here, both the New Testament and Old Testament. Probably the Gospel of Luke. That's what my dissertation is on, but it's hard to choose, like picking your favorite child. I like wisdom literature too. There's a lot of books about that, like the book of Proverbs and Wisdom. All the Gospels are fun too, so yeah, hard to choose. So in college I studied English, so I have a bachelor's in English literature. After college I did a master's degree at USD actually in marriage and family therapy. So I also had a psychology minor from undergrad, so I thought about going into mental health, really liked that degree, but decided not to pursue a career. So instead I decided to go back to school, something in academia, and it was just my luck that the Franciscan School of Theology had moved down to San Diego just around that time period. So I went to get a master's degree in theology. One of my very first classes was an Introduction to the New Testament class, and I absolutely loved it. When I found out that you can study the Bible the same way you study other works of literature, and I could kind of put those skills towards biblical studies, yeah, I was sold. So from there I did some language study and ended up at the University of Notre Dame, where I'm finishing up my PhD. I love doing sort of a close reading of Scripture, where in a way you read it as you would other books. How are the characters described in the text? What are their relationships with each other like? And what words are important? What are the themes? So in a way, you just get to appreciate the literature that is in the Bible, because it's very good. It's the literary artistry is very clear. In my intro to the Old Testament class, we just read the Exodus stories. They're very exciting. They're really vivid and fun. So I get to kind of use these skills of studying literature, but then think about it in terms of theology as well. So it's not just you're not just learning about the characters. You're learning about, God is one of the characters and what his relationship is like with humanity. So it's fun to kind of put those other skills to use and then also make the Bible a little bit, I think, more accessible for people. So it's not so intimidating. It's something that you can read as literature and as a book, but then think about its meaning for your own life and faith. Teaching on the online degree was great. The students were lovely, very self-motivated, very passionate, knowledgeable already, so they knew a lot about the Franciscan tradition going in and the Bible as well. So it was great to see people, really excited about what they were studying and ready and able to put together a lot of the themes they've been picking up in the program so far. So, my job is to kind of give students a good scriptural basis, so it was great to sort of see them already have that, and then we could just go a little bit farther and think about it in terms of, Franciscan views as well. So it was great seeing them grow and really increase their knowledge of Scripture. They were a great group. My advice would be to have an open mind with all of your classes. The classes, when people first start theological studies, sometimes it's a little bit different than they might expect, the academic side. But be really open-minded in terms of what you're going to learn in each class. Sometimes a person's initial interest may not be in, say, Scripture, but going into the class and kind of learning to study it in a different way than maybe you have before, I think has generally, across the board, been very rewarding for students. So appreciating that you're going to learn to think differently, and it will sort of fit all together as you go, that would be my advice. Thank you for visiting me here in office hours. I'm always willing to talk to anyone further if you're thinking about coming to FST or just theology in general. So, and good luck with your own studies.